Hello guys, full time at Old Trafford and Arsenal season is off to a winning start, 1-0 to the Arsenal. That was the song emanating from the away fans over in that corner at full time. A fantastic result for Arsenal, no doubt about that. The performance, somewhat less than fantastic, I think we can say. There'll be a lot of analysis of that over the coming days. I mean, in a way, who cares, right? Arsenal got the 3 points. This is a big result at a ground where typically we do underperform, typically we don't win. We've got 3 points on the board, which is vital. And if there's a time in the season where, you know, results are really what count, I guess it is right at the start when the team is still gelling, still building fitness. Maybe that bit of fluency missing is to be expected. I think even taking all that into account, people will have been a bit disappointed in this performance. The difference really, well, set pieces, of course, right, which has been such a good weapon for Arsenal. As soon as Bayindir was picked, I mean, to be fair, it'd be the same if Onana was picked. He didn't really fancy either of those United goalkeepers on Arsenal set pieces. So that made a big difference. And I think the two keepers themselves, right, Bayindir commits that big error. Did a lot right in the game. I thought his distribution was good, but big mistake there. And then Ryan makes two good saves, right? One in the first half from Cunha, getting a palm down low. And the second springing across the goal to push that Mbeumo header away. They're big moments, and he came through for Arsenal in those, and that's been the difference. In terms of what else went right, well, I think Gabriel and Saliba acquitted themselves well. You know, they came under a bit of pressure in that second half, not concerted pressure, but there were moments of tension and drama, and they stood up to it. I think Gabriel in particular was really good, especially when you consider he's not long been back in full training. I think Ricardo Calafiori had a decent game, obviously got the goal. He is a threat in those set-piece situations, but also I think he was steady in possession. He got booked as well in the first half. I wondered, would Mikel Arteta bring him off at half-time? He stuck with him into the second half, and he looked pretty steady, all things considered. To the extent that I was actually a little bit worried and concerned when they replaced him, because they brought him off the same time as Ben White, who had a knock. And that was half the back four changing at a late stage in the game. Fortunately, it panned out okay for Arsenal. I thought Martin Odegaard had a busy game, worked hard, had some really nice moments on the ball. But in general, the final ball, the final execution wasn't there from an Arsenal perspective. I thought Victor Gyökeres looks like a man who's not yet at full fitness, not yet sharp. I thought... early on he went into a couple of shoulder-to-shoulders. But I was thinking about it, how often in Portugal did he come up against a centre-half like De Ligt with that kind of athleticism, with that kind of power that could almost live with him? Probably not that often. And he's going to have to adapt to that week in, week out in the Premier League. He is going to come up against guys who are, if not quite as quick and strong as him, certainly closer than he's accustomed to. That's going to be an adaptation. I think the team are adapting to him as well. And above and beyond all else, I just don't think his match fitness, his sharpness can possibly be where we'd want it to be. He hasn't been with us long enough, and he missed pre-season with Sporting. I think if Kai Havertz had not had that injury in the last couple of weeks, I think he probably would have started today. And who knows, maybe he'll start the next one. We'll see what happens for the home game against Leeds next week. Bukayo Saka, I thought, didn't have his best game. Gabriel Martinelli, wasteful in possession on more than one occasion. Rice came off, looked hurt when he came off, looked like he might be carrying something. Zubimendi, bit of a baptism of fire. I thought he had moments of quality though. I think, you can see what a great signing he's going to be, but it wasn't a fluid performance. In the first half we were more open than I was anticipating. It looked like United could hurt us on the counter, and there were a couple of moments where if they'd had a number 9 on the pitch, some of those crosses across the box might have found somebody. First half I thought United were really on top, and the goal that we got was against the run of play and not really a fair reflection of the scoreline. By full time, if they'd had an equaliser, you'd have to say they were good value for it, but it didn't come. And people won't say it because it's August, but this is the sort of result that you would say mark of champions, right? On the back foot at times, struggling for your best performance, but clean sheet, but 3 points, but won the game. You'll take it all day long. As a manager, I think it's ideal in a way. You've got the points, but there's so much to look at this week in the analysis and be like, how can we be better? Where can we improve? If Arsenal have won and still have significant headroom to improve, then I think they're probably in a pretty good place. I'm going to leave that there for now. Head off to the press conference. I'll speak to you all very soon, and take care. Bye bye, guys.